He's the Hall of Famer, TNT Inside the NBA Analyst Charles Barkley joining us on the program. Few things to talk about. We'll get to the LIV Tour here in a moment. Your thoughts on the possibility that the Celtics and Nets could complete a trade that KD would go to Boston in exchange for Jaylen Brown and a few players and some draft picks?
Well, it depends on what they're giving up. I mean, KD, I think everybody wants KD. We can be sure of that. But it just depends on what you have to give up. I mean, if you're just giving up Jaylen Brown and some draft picks, you do that deal right away. But like I say, they got to want more than that, or they don't know what the hell they're doing in Brooklyn.
What if you just say to KD, we're not trading you? Like, you got a contract.
They should have did that already, because that team, they're in the conversation the way they structured. Because Kyrie's got to play well next year to get a new contract. We don't know what Ben's going to do, but when Ben was healthy, he was a heck of a player. I like the offseason additions. I would tell, hey, KD, we're not trading you. We might have the best team in the Eastern Conference. Then he's going to say, I don't want to play with Kyrie.
Yeah.
Because it's really ironic the day after Kyrie bought in, that's the day he released, I want to be traded. So that would actually bring a lot of things into the light. If he says, hey, you guys trade Kyrie, I'm back in. So I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but it sounds like he just had enough of Kyrie. That's my honest opinion.
And how ironic would this be if KD would go to Boston and those players who played with Kyrie in Boston would then be shipped to Brooklyn to have to play with Kyrie?
Yeah, man, it would be like, listen, whatever team KD go to going to be a contender. Can they win it? We don't know that. It depends on what you're giving up. But if I'm any team in the league, I'm like, if I got a chance to get Kevin Durant, I might go for that.
And I thought Golden State would make a run at this, and maybe they do, because they do have the pieces, or at least it feels like they have some young players, some depth there. And if you're Golden State, would you make a run at KD to try to win a couple more championships here?
Well, I think the two things. Number one, I love their young players, but what are you going to have to give up? Like, if I'm Brooklyn, you give me Wiggins, Kuminga, Wiseman, Poole, because their draft picks ain't going to be any good.
Yeah.
But if you give me Wiseman, Kuminga, maybe even Moody or Wiggins, one of those two, I might give me 4 good young players, because Golden State, man, they're going to need those young players to play well going forward, because their core is getting old. And Wiggins was
over the weekend where he said he was watching the Bulls against the Utah Jazz, 1997. He said we would crush the Jazz by 40 and we would beat the Bulls. But he did say it's kind of crazy to compare eras here. I mean, I'm not surprised he would say that the 2017 Warriors would beat the Bulls. If he said we couldn't, then I would think that would be interesting or headline news here. But we get into these discussions all the time.
Dan, I don't get into those discussions, because I think it takes, when guys get on the radio and TV and say who's better, LeBron or Michael, that's just lazy journalism. They're just trying to stoke fires out there to get idiots and fools to call into your radio show. Listen, the Warriors, I love what they do, but them little bodies they got, they wouldn't last in the 70s and the 80s, correct?
Yeah.
You think he could take that beating that Michael got against the Bad Boys Pistons? Come on, Dan, please stop it. I mean, the game was just so much more physical. And I'm not talking, hey, listen, these guys are great today. They're great today. Everybody think every time you criticize them, you like the old guy, get off my lawn. I'm just saying, when I watched that Last Dance, first of all, I played during that generation. I tell people, when you played against those Bad Boy Pistons, you had to call your family and say, just in case I never see you again, I want y'all to know we're good. I love y'all. Because those boys are out there trying to hurt people. So that's the thing you can't compare. Like, yeah, today, how many free throws Michael Jordan would shoot today compared to how many? I mean, James Harden's a great player. He shoots 12 a game. I mean, but you just can't compare us because of the physicality.
Yeah, but Isaiah survived the physicality, and Steph is similar in size to Isaiah.
No, those guys don't play alike. Isaiah Thomas is one of the toughest guys ever played in the NBA. Do not compare them to. I told y'all that.
I mean, size-wise.
No. But not physicality. There's a difference. He plays like Isaiah Thomas went through the wars. I mean, Isaiah, remember when he got hit in the face by Karl Malone and broke his whole face? But no, Isaiah Thomas played a totally different game. And let me tell you something. As great as Steph is, Isaiah, that would have been a great matchup right there. That would have been a great matchup.
I'll give you Isaiah or Steph as your point guard.
Well, I thought that when Steph won the championship this year, that moved him to the table with Isaiah. You know, because I held those two with KD against him a little bit. But now this is the second time he's led a team to the championship. So I moved him to the table. When you look at levels in the Hall of Fame, this moved him to the table with Isaiah Thomas.
Talking to Charles Barkley, the Hall of Famer, TNT Inside the NBA Analyst. How would you sum up this past week with the rumors about you joining the LIV Tour?
It's been very stressful. Not gonna lie to you, it's been tough. I'm not gonna lie, because man, it's hard sitting back, hearing everybody, because I don't know anything, to be honest with you. I met with Greg. He asked me, was I interested? I said, of course I'm here. I wouldn't have had dinner with you if I wasn't interested. And I'm waiting for them to make me an offer, I guess. But that's all I know so far. But it's been very stressful on me.
What are you factoring in with your decision?
Well, man, I love TNT. I love Ernie, Kenny, and Shaq, and everybody who works down there. But if those dudes do something crazy at me, I have to listen. I mean, listen, and I'm not going to get on here and say it's not about the money. Of course it's about the money. I think a bunch of the LIV guys, they're so terrified to say it's about the money. It's all right to everybody's taking a job for money, you know, but they're so afraid that, first of all, people are going to talk bad about you anyway, a certain percentage, but most people I talk to, my close confidant, they're like, no, man, you got to sit down with them, listen what they are offering, and before you, I know you love TNT, but, you know, they're giving guys $200 million, $150 million, $125 million. I'd be stupid not to listen to that conversation.
What kind of offer do you think that it would take for you to leave?
Oh, it would be astronomical.
But like what?
Well, Dan, I'm blessed to make a lot of money.
But let's say you made $25, 30, like $40 million a year. Am I in the ballpark of what you expect to get or you think they'll offer?
I don't know the answer to that question. They know how much money I make. So, because, you know, I have to factor in this. Okay, there's a couple things. Number one, I have 3 years left on my TNT deal. Okay, and I'm probably going to lose all my commercials. So those are two big things. If I had to lose my TNT gig, that would hurt me a lot. But I'm also going to lose my commercials. And listen, let's be realistic. I'm not sure how the public is going to get about as far as the commercial thing. I might not get commercials anymore, because so it's a lot that goes into it. But man, I love my job, but I had to take the meeting.
What did TNT say about you staying there and doing both?
We have not had any conversations, not one. To be honest with you, Dan, they've been very quiet. But this is the thing. LIV has not offered me anything. So everything is really just speculation right now. Like I say, we just had dinner. He asked me, was I interested? I said yes. And he says, I'll get back to you. And I'm playing in their Pro-Am Thursday up in New Jersey. But like I say, I'm not, unless they come at me with something crazy, I'm not leaving TNT. I love my job at TNT.
What's the criticism that hurts the most?
Oh, there's no criticism. I don't do with this selective prosecution about things, people, the public. You know, everybody picks and chooses. I just think it's funny they're more worried about civil rights in Saudi Arabia, a place 99.9% of people in the United States have never been. And all of a sudden they're worried about civil rights in Saudi Arabia. That kind of gives me a chuckle. I said, you don't worry about civil rights of people here in the United States. But all of a sudden, when guys start taking money, they're like, well, I'm worried about civil rights in Saudi Arabia. And that just makes me laugh. I said, why don't y'all get worried about civil rights here in the United States? Let's worry about that before we worry about what's going on in Saudi Arabia.
I understand what you're saying about Saudi Arabia and China, and I know you're a Nike spokesperson, and with Nike in China. I think the Saudis with 9/11 hits home with people, for a lot of people. I think that's different. People haven't been to China, won't go to China, haven't been to Saudi Arabia, won't go to Saudi Arabia. 9/11, where 15 of the 18 involved in 9/11 were Saudis.
Yeah,
that's the criticism.
Well, from the 9/11 families.
Yes.
And they have the right to say that, and I understand that. But I don't think the rest of America is thinking like that. But I listen, that's a fair criticism for the 9/11 families. That was the worst day in United States history. And I understand that. But I don't think it's fair for them to pin all that on these golfers. That's not fair. I mean, our government still does business over there. And then you talk about these people who ain't never been to China. They buying up all this Chinese stuff. So don't act like, they're going to take the moral high ground. I mean, we can't even get a car in this country because all the chips are made in China. So I don't want to have selective. Like, I understand the 9/11 families. They have the right to have their opinion. But I don't think it's fair to blame these golfers who are just trying to play golf. They're not making a political statement. So, hey, I understand it, but these guys, hey, they're independent contractors, and they have to make money any way they want to, and it's up to them.
I keep hearing, but I haven't really heard a true answer, and that is we're growing the game. LIV Tour is growing the game. Well, we've reached out to Greg Norman, and he might join us coming up next week. I just want to know, because you're fracturing the PGA Tour, how is the LIV Tour? And I'm not talking about you. I'm saying the LIV Tour is fracturing the PGA Tour. How does that grow the game of golf?
Well, I think they have some interesting concepts. They talked about, the main proponent of the LIV Tour is the team aspect. So I think, and I know that the PGA Tour is actually trying to start a team competition. LIV just got a head start on them. And also at their tournaments, they're really trying to bring in a younger demographic. We talked about at the dinner that the average age of a PGA fan is like 60, 61. This will be my first time going to a tournament. They play loud music. They have people having fun. They're trying to reach to a younger demographic. So I think that would grow the game if they get to a younger demographic because, golf we can't survive on old fans. So like I say, I don't judge these guys for taking the money. Like I say, criticisms come with it. I mean, that's criticisms come with everything. But for me personally, I'm glad I took the meeting. I'm looking forward to playing golf with a couple of my friends Thursday, and I'm just going to play golf. It has nothing to do with politics or anything like that. And if anybody get mad, they'll get over it.
But you also look at, there has to be an asking price, right? You said, hey, this is about the money, right? Is that what this is going to be based on? If Greg Norman comes back and says, here's our offer. Well,
listen, okay, let me get an example. I know most of the numbers that's been reported. I know, somebody say Phil Mickelson got $200 million. I'm like, you take that money. Somebody said Dustin Johnson got $150 million and Bryson and Brooks. I'm like, $150 million to play golf 15 times a year? I have no problem with those guys taking that money. And if they offer me something crazy, I'm going to take it too.
What's crazy?
Well, consider how much money I make now. It would take a really huge number for me to give up my life right now. I mean, I'm not going to give up my life for. I don't like talking about how much money I
make. Okay, so let's say you make $20 million total. Endorsements and TNT.
That's fair.
That's fair. I might be a little high on that. Let's say.
Well, just for the record, you're not. Okay, let's get that out the way.
Okay. All right. So I'm in the ballpark. Right?
Yeah, you number one, you sitting on the front row, brother.
Okay. All right. So let's say they come back and they go, we're going to triple
it. And let me tell you, well, next time, if they triple it, and next time I'm on your show,
yeah,
The first question better be, Charles, what we celebrating at tonight? That should be your first question. That should be your first question if they triple what I'm making now. Your first question should be, hey, Charles, where's the party tonight? And then you can ask me a second question after that.
Okay, but you're more valuable than some of these golfers who are getting – I think you're the most underpaid analyst in sports. You're already generating publicity for the LIV Tour, and you're not even on the LIV Tour. And if so you're more valuable than Bryson DeChambeau or Patrick Reed, Dustin Johnson. I mean, that's where if it's not $60 million, then what are you doing? I mean, you're worth that.
I said, Dan, I'm just sitting back waiting. I'm just sitting back waiting. They haven't offered me anything.
I can't believe they haven't made you an offer. If Greg Norman sat down to dinner with you in Atlanta at that Italian restaurant,
Dan, if he made me an offer, I would have made a decision by now.
Well, he might have made an offer, and you go, nope, you're gonna have to do better than 50.
Well, I'm saying, I'm not in a rush. I got a job.
Okay, all right,
yeah,
all right.
But listen, Dan.
Okay, what's your role on this tour? You don't have a TV deal.
Well, they're going to get a TV deal. I'm pretty sure of that.
With who?
Well, I don't know the answer to that question, but I'm pretty sure they're going to get a
Greg
TV
Norman
deal.
had to tell you that. You had to say,
no, he didn't.
Greg, where are we going to be able to have people see us?
Well, I'll tell you what's really funny. This is how full of crap everybody is. Number one, there's no doubt in my mind TV networks are calling him. They're just afraid to pull the trigger.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you how I know the answer to that question. When the story broke that I was going to meet with Greg, I had 15 or more prominent announcers call me saying, Chuck, I've been talking to LIV. We're scared to pull the trigger. The only one who's actually pulled the trigger is David Faraday.
Yeah.
So I know they've been talking to 10 to 15 to 20 big time. I'm not talking about no local dudes. I'm not talking about no regional dudes. I'm talking about some of the most famous announcers in the world. Call me privately and says, Chuck, what do you think? I said, yo, man, when they make me an offer, I will be the first to let America know. But they haven't offered me anything. They said, man, we are terrified to go first. And the only guy had the stones to go is David Faraday. But they're talking to, so I know, like I say, he did not tell me a TV deal was imminent, but he says we're talking to networks, and I think they will get a deal. I think they will get a deal by the end of this year. I truly believe that.
What's the time frame? Did Greg Norman say when I'll get back to you?
Well, I'm going to give them a deadline.
What's that going to be?
The deadline's going to be Thursday.
Okay.
I'm planning the Pro-Am Thursday.
When you get ready to tee up, will you know what your future is with the LIV Tour?
No, I don't think he's going to walk up to me. I don't even know if I'm playing morning or afternoon. But at some point, we're going to talk. Okay. I'm not going to keep TNT in limbo.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I don't think it's fair to them. And you said something interesting. They've gotten plenty of play out of me coming to play up there Thursday.
Yeah.
So I'm not just going to be no show pony. But hey, y'all, I got y'all pub for a week. Don't be wasting my time. I'm not going to waste y'all time. But when I leave New Jersey Thursday night, when I leave the golf course, if I don't have an offer in hand, it's over.
Good luck.
Good luck. What y'all need luck for?
I've seen your golf game. You were terrible in Tahoe.
Dan, you did not pay attention. I was great in Tahoe.
Oh, my God. You're entertaining. You're not. Your golf game is not any good.
If I played great. And actually, how about this? I had 3 people said, Dan, can you please get Dan Patrick back out here? 3 people. 3 people said that to me.
Well, now you're going to be making serious money at the LIV Tour, and now we can play for some real money. As Tiger once said to me, we'll play for whatever makes you nervous.
Dan, first of all, Chuck ain't going to get nervous, okay? Chuck is not going to get nervous. I can promise you that.
Don't go third person on me.
I like doing that sometimes.
No, it's not good. It's not a good look.
Okay. I apologize, America. You should never refer to yourself in the third person. I was 100% wrong then.
Great to talk to you. But
All right, brother.
no, good luck.
Be safe.
I know you're struggling with this, and there'll be fallout. But
yes, there will be fallout.
Yeah.
But hey, I'm a big boy. I can handle it.
Thank you, Chuck.
Thank you, brother.